Hello, I'm Josh Drum. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to do comparison on my D700 versus my newly acquired D800. The D700 is known more for its speed. With the grip you get 8 frames a second. So it's great for sports, it's great for weddings, it's great for, anything you need to do fast. The ISO on this camera for me has been absolutely amazing. The D800 is not nearly as fast at a whopping 4 frames a second, but that is in full resolution, 36 megapixels raw, 80 megabytes of file. In DX mode you can get this thing hopping at 6 frames a second, but still it's not that fast. Okay, so maybe it's not a fair comparison, maybe it is, but I can't afford the D4 and I was looking to upgrade, and so I took the risk. I bought the D800. So today I'm going to be talking about my feelings, my pros and cons, not necessarily yours, but this is how I feel about these two cameras and how they stack up against each other. First, I'm going to talk about build quality. My D700, absolutely thrilled about. This thing is a tank. I feel like I could take this camera and use it for home defense. If someone comes into my house, I can throw this at their face and that's it, game over. This thing is a tank. I love it. The knobs feel great. They feel solid. They feel thick. There's no moving in the knobs. The buttons turn really good. One little complaint, if I had one, would be, that guy right there. Sometimes buttons don't always push. Sometimes it goes in the wrong direction, but not a real big deal. Overall, this thing is a machine. Now, my first impressions of the D800 was a little bit lighter, which I don't know, maybe some. I'm 6'7", huge hands, as you can tell. Okay, I like the weight. I like a heavy camera. I love my big 70-200 on here. Some people like that it's a little bit lighter. I don't necessarily like that. The knobs, I don't know if you can hear the difference, but the D700 just feels smoother. Okay, this feels a little clicky, a little looser, just doesn't feel quite as solid as my D700. And also, just little things, pet peeve of mine. You hear that? To me that feels cheap. You open that and you get that. On my D700, did you hear anything? Maybe a little bit? The door just feels more solid. Okay, so overall, I feel like the build quality is a little bit better on the older camera, on the D700. Next thing we're going to talk about is a big issue for me is ISO. That's the reason why I bought this camera. It's amazing. The D700 has exceeded my expectations in the realm of low light shooting with high ISOs. Okay. My big fear was with this 36 megapixel monster over here is that it would not perform as well. So that's going to be my next little portion. I'm going to throw some pictures on the screen and we're going to talk about them. I did 3 shots. One shot at 1600 ISO, one at 3200 ISO, and one at 6400 ISO. And a lot of people doing these reviews on YouTube are doing them on like books or filing cabinet and trying to show you ISO noise and I don't see much of a difference, blah blah blah. I don't shoot books. I take pictures of people. So I am taking pictures. My focal point will be an eyeball on a lovely young lady, and we will be testing the ISOs to see if we can hold the clarity and low light with higher ISOs. Okay, so here we have them side by side, 1600 ISO, and they both look very good. Let's crop these in. Alright, that looks pretty good. I think the color is a little bit better on the D800. As far as noise, there's not a whole lot there. Both pictures look very good, and sharpness in that eye is very good. Let's go to 3200 ISO, both cameras side by side, and let's zoom in. Here we're starting to see some noise. On the D700, I think a little more noise than the D800. They both look pretty good. At 3200 ISO, they both look very good. I can see on the D700 we are starting to lose quality, but again, that's going to be because of 12.1 megapixel sensor compared to a 36. So we're going to start losing some sharpness the more we zoom in there. But overall that looks pretty good. Let's move on to 6400 ISO side by side there, and let's zoom in. This is where I think the D800 really gets a little bit better. The D700 I see a lot of color noise there, and not as much on the D800. Around the eyes, especially on the D700, it's starting to get kind of ugly, and in the D800 you're holding color, you're holding sharpness. That's really good for 6400 ISO on a 36 megapixel sensor. That's pretty phenomenal. And let's zoom in a little bit more. Let's check it out. Here's the D700 on the left hand side, and there's a lot of noise there, a lot of color noise. All of the shadows and dark areas look really bad. And on the D800 there, yeah, there's a lot of noise there, but look at the sharpness on that thing. Those 36 megapixels make a big difference. 6400 ISO with a little bit of smoothing in Photoshop, I think the D800's photo is very usable. I think it's a great picture. So just to sum it up, I love my D700, but now that I know that my D800 is going to perform every bit as well, minus some speed, I don't know if I'll take this out of the bag. I mean, if I'm at a wedding that I'm shooting and I want to put my wide angle on here and my 7200 on there, or vice versa, yeah, that's handy to have around. But if you're just going out on a typical shoot, I'm going to leave this bad boy at home, and I'm taking my new D800. Thank you for watching on this review of my D700 versus D800. Hope you liked it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, anything I can help you answer, whether what camera is good for you, leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching.